Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the syllabus. So this is the figure sculpture 2. I uploaded it to Zoom. So hopefully you got a chance to look at it. I put it in as kind of a figure sculpture 1 where I could add the weeks because I wasn't sure what people wanted to do. But I kept things like our critiques in there. We'll have a midterm critique and a final critique. So you can look through there. Those things may change, but we can talk about these different topics like marketing your art, gesture in your sculptures, casting, which is something Jose was talking about, exploring media, content and meaning, emotional expression, anatomy, which is going to be the skull reconstruction for us. So your required textbooks are this Sarah Simblett anatomy book that I was telling Cassie about. It's a beautiful book. You won't regret buying it. I had it in my studio last year. I probably showed it to you guys. It's the one that has real photographs, and it has the trace layers that are like drawn on top of it. I have a copy of here somewhere, if I can find it. Yes, here it is. So this is the book. Do you remember this book at all? It's gorgeous, and it's available at Barnes & Noble if you just go to Barnes & Noble. But it has these traces that go over the photos, so you see the anatomy. So this is a great reference as an artist to have.
I just got the books at the bookstore.
Oh, good. Were you able?
They were pretty cheap to buy them. I think that book you were holding up, I think that one was like $30, and the other two were like $22 and like $16 or like $8, I think.
Yeah, because some of them are even available online as Nook copies. But yeah, they are very reasonable, because normally I don't even have you buy a book, but I thought since we don't have that one-on-one contact, having that physical book that you can kind of look through to get inspiration would be important. So I also had you get a figure drawing book. I know that might seem strange. It's called Figure Drawing Atelier, right? This book is gorgeous. I think this is the book that's $22. It's very reasonable, but it has a lot to do with gesture and drawing the gestures and finding the lines. And then it has these great old master copies. And so I thought, given the fact that we don't have a model in this course, if you wanted to do something figural, this book has a lot of images that you can use. And what you could do is take a sculpture, make a sculpture from these drawings, right? So that's why I thought this was a great reference. So that's a very reasonable book. Then we have the modeling and sculpting. I don't know if I have that one with me yet. I think that's on order. But this is the Lantieri. There are some optional books. This is like a sculptural Bible. It's a text based, but it talks a lot about building sculpture in the traditional way. So this is a real how-to book. This is the Lantieri. The Alsti Anatomy book too is very good. See if I can find that one. So you can choose what books you want to buy, you know, depending on if you want to do an anatomy heavy thing as like figure sculptures, or if you want to do more abstract sculptures, you don't need to buy all these anatomy books. But this is a gorgeous book by Alsti. So this has the anatomy. in it because originally I didn't know if I'd have more figure sculpture 1 or figure sculpture 2 people. So I kind of had a hard time deciding on the books. Yeah, so I'm trying to find the other books that I have. The Toft, I don't think I have the Toft yet. But what was the other book that you got, Jose? Do you remember?
I got all three of the books you required us to get.
Okay.
So I got the big one, the red book, and the little blue one.
Gotcha. Okay. So I don't have the Toft to show you, but that's the one Jose has. This one down here.
Do you want me to show you? Do you want me to show it?
Sure.
Go get it.
Thank you. This book in yellow is the anatomy book, and it's a digital copy. So if you have an iPad or an iPhone, download the Nook app, and you can buy this forensic reconstruction book for $10. So even though I put this as optional, I think this is going to be the best project for us to start with as a group. So I'm kind of changing that from optional to required. It's a $10 purchase. So you could eliminate one of the anatomy books from your purchase. Oh yeah, the human figure. Oh, that looks a lot like my Lentiri book. I think I may have duplicated the book. So yeah, this sculpture Bible I was telling you, it's listed in the optional as Lentiri, is the same book as the Toft. That must just be a new edition. So that's my mistake. I'm sorry, don't buy a duplicate, right? So thanks, Jose. That was so helpful to see that book.
You're welcome.
So I was said while you were gone that this yellow highlighted book, you have to buy it as a digital Nook book. And it's listed as optional, but I'm making it required. It's $10, and that's what we'll use to reconstruct the skull. So if you have an iPad or an iPhone, you can download the Nook app, and then you can see the digital book. If you have a Kindle or a Nook or a Fire tablet, you can download it as well. I think you can get the app for your computer also, but I'm not positive on that. So if there's any trouble, let me know. And I think you can actually order a hard copy version as well. It might be more expensive, okay? But that's a cool book. So if we...
Is that one required now?
Yeah, I'm making that required now.
The forensic sculpting? Okay.
Yeah, sorry, my mistake. So these optional large mold materials are only if you want to make a mold. So like Jose would like to make a mold for his independent sculptures, he's going to want to look at these. This is the kit. Now, you don't have to buy this kit. It says it's required, but for students like Boss, who doesn't have any sculptural materials, I thought this kit would be useful. It's essentially what you had to buy for 3D design, okay? Most of you have those things. And then the materials from Amazon, we can talk about these, but here's that wet clay and rubber. All of these things are optional depending on what you're gonna make. So I'll let you decide, or we can talk individually about what to buy, okay? But this optional material of the plastic skull, oh, I have a spelling error, that is gonna be required because now I'm going to do that reconstruction project. Some grading. I have 1 minute left and it may cut me off of Zoom. So I say goodbye if I disappear, but I'll just keep talking. Otherwise, sometimes it lets me go on for a little bit. Okay, guys, thanks for meeting with me today. if I blink out. And just read the rest. The only other thing I wanted to show you is in my Pinterest board, I have lots of examples of different kinds of sculptures made by all different kinds of sculptors. It's called Figure Sculpture 2 in my Pinterest. I think a lot of you followed me on Pinterest last year. If you did and you like to use Pinterest, check out my boards because I put tons of sculpture on there, okay? And that'll give you some inspiration. And now that I know what you're interested in, so Cassie and Boss, this is like a drawing translated into a bas-relief, something like that, right? So any drawing you have, you can sculpt. So just some ideas from Pinterest. Pinterest is frustrating now because there's so many ads. I apologize. But I have lots of sculpture on my Pinterest. So there's a lot of inspiration there.
Good.
You know? So we'll try to talk independently about what you want to make. My cat wants in. He's like meowing at the door. Let me see if I